Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 37 and today has been a bit of a crazy day. In fact, this week has been completely insane for me. It has been all over the place and I don't even know what's going on. The camper van's broken down, I still haven't got it back. I've had massive issues with the recovery people and my insurance company. I'm still trying to chase that around. I have no clue where it is. They keep saying it's going to be delivered on certain days, but then it never arrives. And I keep having to take days off from recording videos to wait for the camper van for it to just never turn up. I've missed a flight, I've had to sleep on the airport floor, but I have also done some wilderness camping and I pitched up a tent on the edge of a mountain and managed to camp out there in the Lake District. It was amazing, but also it's been very eventful, as you could probably hear, and now I'm just trying to sort everything out and get back to recording Hermitcraft and Redstone and just general Minecraft videos because that seems a lot more relaxing. But right now, yeah, this week has been crazy and I have no clue where I'm going. I have got completely lost. Iskall, help me. Where am I? Sort out your nether tunnels, please. I found my way home, but I have got some interesting news. Once again, it is one of those days, because of all the things that I just previously mentioned, that I am recording Hermitcraft on the day that it releases. Once again, I've only got 8 hours to record this episode, which is hilariously good fun. I actually quite like doing this little thing. It keeps me on my toes, and it makes sure that I work really, really fast and really, really efficiently. So hopefully, I'll be able to finish up everything that I want to get done in today's episode today. Fingers crossed. So what I want to do right now is I want to start work on the new areas of the base. So for those of you who don't know, my plan is that I want to have, once again, a kind of farming area to the base. But instead of having one farming area, we're actually going to have 4 of them, and they're all going to split off from the side of this thing. And I think the way that I want to do it is I kind of want to have like these big triangles here. I want plenty of space for farms, okay? We want to have completely ridiculous farms here. So if we had like 1 diamond off like this, 1 diamond off in that direction, 1 diamond off in that direction, and 1 diamond off in that direction, I mean, I think that would look pretty incredible. We would have an insane looking base right there. It wouldn't have these swirly things, but it would be a similar shape. And then all of the farms would be based inside that area. Oh man, that would be really cool. That would be really, really cool. That's a big old project. Yeah, let's just try our best to start it and see what happens. So I think this is where I'm going to be starting things. I've gone 32 blocks away from the rest of my base. And that should give us enough distance for it to look separate from the base, but still part of it. I get the feeling that this is going to end up looking absolutely crazy. I sincerely hope it ends up looking absolutely crazy, because that would be, if this base looks as grand and as amazing as it does in my head, then we've got something special going here. Final few blocks now for this diamond right here, and as you can see, my technique for doing it has been to use the pick block method, because of course that does work in survival mode. And I think they recently changed it, or at least I think it was in like Minecraft 1.11, where it can actually grab blocks from up here in your inventory as well. It's been super, super handy, and it's made the process a whole bunch faster than it otherwise would be. But this should be it. Now hopefully I have measured out everything correctly, and by the look of things I have. So we have got ourselves one big, very big diamond on the outside right here, and if we take off, I am now very excited to see. I'm excited to see what this thing looks like. Okay. Yeah, I think once we get like an actual walkway heading up there, it might look a little bit better. Wasn't quite as amazing as I was expecting, but maybe that's just because this thing's a little bit dark. It's not looking quite as grand as this. I don't know though. Hopefully I haven't just wasted a bunch of time. Let's start filling this thing in. This is really starting to hurt my brain, just watching these blocks go past so quickly. You know, when your eyes just start to go out of focus and I can no longer concentrate on things that are going on anymore. Oh, I'm making so many mistakes. I think think that does it for this one, and then it's just, yeah, the outer edge. So here goes. I'm about to see what this thing looks like, fully beefed out for the first time. This is what it's going to look like. I'm really, really scared about this one. Because this is like the whole foundation of my base. This is my idea coming together. Oh, and it doesn't half look cool. Yes! Okay, absolutely nailed it there. Now my plan is that obviously we're going to have 4 of those around this thing, and then about, I think probably about 20 blocks above, I'm going to have a second floating layer of this that's going to be up here, and inside this thing is where all of the farms are going to be going. And maybe we will have like 2 or 3 that are going to be filled with farms, and then the other 2 are going to be filled with other things that I fancy putting in there. But this is looking good. This is looking good. Okay, we need quartz. How much quartz do I have? The good news is, this thing is looking good, and it is all now quartzed in. I'm very, very happy with it. In fact, couldn't be happier with how it's all turned out. The bad news is that has used all of my quartz. Literally all of it. And I had probably, I don't know how many stacks was that? Well, I made 3 stacks of blocks, so that means that was 12 stacks of quartz dust stuff. 12 stacks of quartz dust. Should just do 1. We need 8. That's almost 100. Oh my word. That's 96 stacks of quartz dust we're going to need to do all the quartz for these things. That's not going to happen today. I can safely confirm that. Blimey. Okay. Let's start work on the other ones, and then we can start to try and conquer our quartz problem maybe later on. I do have a bit of an issue now, though, with this one, in that I don't actually know when to stop. There's no frame of reference on this side over here, and I can't think how big to make it. I guess I should probably just count the number of these things that I have, and then compare it to that one. Ah, that seems a bit cumbersome, though. Bit of a time update for you guys. I have got 4 hours left to go before I have to get this thing edited and uploaded. So that means we're about halfway through all of our time, but obviously a lot of that was spent trying to work out the plans and what the builds are. Now that we're actually getting underway, we're making some pretty decent progress. So we have got our second one all in place. Now I don't have any rockets on me right now, so let's just quickly pop onto the second account just to see what this thing looks like. Now, as mentioned in one of the recent clips, unfortunately we aren't going to have enough quartz to do the outline for this thing, but already this is looking mega. This is going to be like a crazy, crazy looking thing, isn't it? Now, part of me almost thinks, wouldn't it be really crazy to connect up these diamonds here? Like across in a line like that, to make one really big diamond. Maybe we could do that at some point in the future, just to make a really dramatic and incredible looking base, but for the time being, yeah, over the moon. Over the moon. I think they're the perfect size. I did have some issues with the size earlier on in the episode. Originally, I made these diamonds exactly the same size as this diamond in the center, and it just made it look off balance. So instead, the size of it is actually matched up to, I think, this junction here. And then I had to do some calculating on this side as well. But that looks really, really good. Really, really cool. Okay, so we've got 2 more of these things to build. And that is going to be 1 on this side, 1 on the other side. And then we're going to start working out how we're going to do the ones above the ground, because we also want some hovering up in the sky. Oh, I love it. I love seeing progress on the base. Oh dear. And by the look of things, I have managed to get this one wrong, which actually sows a bit of a seed of doubt when it comes to the other ones, because I thought I checked this one pretty thoroughly, but I've built it 1 block too far across, and I've only discovered it 3/4 through building it. Nice. Now that the template has been rebuilt, I am doing the beefing up once again. So this is my process from this point forth. We have to add in this layer here, then the sea lantern layer, then the layer again, then this layer, and then that layer on the outside. And that should be the full diamond all done and dusted. Now, I think, according to my calculations, each one of these things takes approximately 1 hour to build. which isn't too bad. That's not too bad, and I'll probably end up doing the next one in the form of a third-person time-lapse. But that does mean that I don't think we're going to be able to do too many of the above-ground ones in today's Hermitcraft episode, which is a little bit of a shame because I really wanted to get those in place. Nearly there now. My brain is hurting once again from having to do all of this kind of block placing, the sort of block placing that makes your eyes go out of focus and your brain feel like you're moving, but you're not actually moving. You're sat still in your chair, and it's just making me feel really motion sick, but it's done, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And this base is enormous. This is definitely one of the biggest bases I think I've ever had. I swear every single one of these Hermitcraft seasons, I just seem to expand things out. I remember I used to think that the Hermitcraft Season 2 base, or was it Hermitcraft Season 3? I think it was called Hermitcraft Season 3. The amplified one was huge, and that could probably fit within this area here. I kid you not, that thing was tiny. It would definitely fit within this square. It was really, really small. So yeah, things are definitely getting bigger on Hermitcraft. But there we go, 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, we have got the final one left to do. Hopefully, we don't run into any issues with that island over there. But I think for this final one, we should probably do it in the form of a third-person time-lapse. Yeah, that makes the most sense, doesn't it? So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to talk to you about dealing with things that are completely out of your control, because this is something that I personally really struggle with, okay? I tend to be pretty terrible at dealing with things that I have absolutely no grasp over, okay? I can do nothing about them, but I stress myself out over them, and I get myself frustrated despite the fact that there is nothing I can do. So for example, right now, I am behind on videos this week, and that is due to the fact that, well, number one, the whole camper van situation, the camper van breaking down, that was completely unexpected. It was an electrical fault, and as far as I knew, the electrical side of the camper van was absolutely fine. It had a few other issues, but they were all fixed, but the electrical had never been a problem until that moment where everything completely died and the camper van completely shut off. So that was completely unexpected and out of my control. And then the recovery of the camper van, that being such a massive pain in the backside, once again, completely out of my control. They told me that it was going to be given back on Saturday. It wasn't. They told me it was going to be given back on Monday. It wasn't. They told me it was going to be given back on Tuesday. It wasn't. They told me it was going to be given back on Wednesday. It was, but it was delivered 7 hours late. None of those things are in my control, okay? I can do absolutely nothing about them. It's just kind of the way that it works, but unfortunately it does negatively affect me. And the same thing goes with the flight situation. Unfortunately, we were late to the airport due to traffic, and that meant that I missed my flight, partly also because my tripod was causing issues with bag drops and things. They didn't really like the size of the tripod, and they wanted me to put it in the hold, but I couldn't really do that at the time, and I was running really late, and it was all really stressful. So I missed my flight, and then I thought I'll try and rent a car. Couldn't rent a car because, unfortunately, I am 21 years of age, and apparently nowhere will rent cars to 21-year-olds. I asked around a bunch, and all of those things completely out of my control. But of course, they do negatively affect me, and I was stressing out about them. I was getting frustrated. I was getting angry. Poor Vicky, my girlfriend, was getting really upset phone calls where I was just in a bit of a state. And unfortunately, there are just times where you just have to go, look, I'm just going to chill out. There is nothing I can do about this. I'm just going to handle it in the best way possible. And if I get behind on videos, unfortunately, I'm behind on videos. I'm just going to have to work with that. There's nothing that I can do to change the situation that I'm in. And sometimes you just kind of have to step outside of your stress and your anger and just look at it from the outside and go, look, okay, I just need to chill out. I just need to relax, and I need to crack on. I hope that made sense. Let's get back onto the Hermitcraft server. So here goes. Here comes my first look at our fully refreshed and brand spanking new base. I'm going to go 64 blocks up into the sky right here. I imagine it is going to look fairly similar to the last few ones, and of course we still don't have all of the quartz in place, but still, this will give us a fairly good idea, and boom. It looks massive. Okay, so that's the new one over there. Those are all the other ones that we've already done. That was the first one that we built. This is a spectacularly big base here. Right, I guess one thing that we do have to do is we have to wipe out that island because we don't want that to be sitting around. And then I suppose pathways. I suppose we should actually connect this thing up to the rest of the base and not leave them just stranded out there in the ocean. This is the final little slot of the island. That's all gone. Obviously, we've got a handful of these invisible blocks that always crop out when you're clearing out things at high speeds. But there we go. The island has been fully removed. The only thing is that there are some areas of water that are still a little bit missing, and of course some areas of the pathway that we still need to fill in. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm really, really happy with how much we've managed to do with this build right here. I mean, we're making some pretty solid progress. And this thing is looking so cool. Now, I think in terms of the pathways, I'm going to do a design that looks a little bit like this. So we're going to have the prismarine on the outside. That's going to be covered up by our nether quartz slabs, which I actually have a handful of them here. So let's quickly do a test here. So it's going to go like that, and then it's going to be this one, and then it's going to be that one, and then going through the center. I guess the only way that we can really do it is to have a 2 wide area of sea lanterns, and then once again repeat the same thing on the other side. So that's going to go like that, that will go like that, and then we'll have the nether quartz here. Now if we remove these blocks, how does that look? Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. I'll quickly see what it looks like from above. Nope, that looks horrible. The reason being that is considerably thicker than our walkways. And it just looks really, really strange. So I think we should maybe knock out 2 blocks or 1 block from either side. Because, yeah, that's really, really not very nice. Okay, now I think we've got a good idea. So this is the design that I'm going to be using for my pathways. And as you can see, we've got half of the pathways are all done. Obviously, once again, without all of the quartz. These things are going to look like 10 million times better once they've got the quartz. You can see that one looks considerably better than that one. But that pathway looks considerably cooler down at the bottom than it does 3 blocks further along. Everything looks incredibly flat at this point in time. But this is cool. This is looking really, really good. This is a fantastic start. Okay, let's get the other 2 sets of pathways in. And this is going to wind everything up. We have done all of the pathways. Everything is now fully connected. This thing is, as I say, looking really, really cool. I'm happy that we have managed to make this progress on the base. It's good. Now, in terms of a time update, I have only got... well, I've got about 20 minutes left before I need to start editing it, because otherwise it's just not going to go up in time. Last time I did one of these episodes, last time I did something like this, I managed to finish processing the video with 1 minute left to spare. Hopefully I don't cut it that fine today. I don't fancy cutting it that fine today, so what we're going to do instead is we're quickly going to pop back over to the base, and I just want to check up if we actually have a decent quantity of iron, because I mean, we seem to be running low on pretty much all resources at this point in time. Now let's see, it's been a while since I've actually checked this thing out. I haven't really kept an eye on supplies at all. Ugh. Whoa, okay. Oh, that's not bad at all. So we've got a decent quantity right there. We also have tons of rotten flesh. That's from all the zombies that keep falling through into the system. Right, let's check out that. Let's check out that. That is tons of the stuff. Epic. Okay, that's going to be used for all of the hoppers and all that sort of thing. Now what I want to do is I actually want to head over to one of Iskal's builds really quickly. So, in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, I was helping out Mr. Iskal on this thing, the Mumbo. Now, I did a little bit of redstone for him, you know, I did some designing, and I spent a good few hours on the actual redstone design itself. Now, I have to say, okay, as you saw in the episode, by the end of that, I was pretty exhausted, okay? I had done a lot of redstone work that day. I was absolutely knackered, and there are a few things that I kind of left missing from the design. Number 1 was these blocks right here. Number 2 was the rotten flesh that was meant to be in here. Number 3 was... oh, okay. Well, I did actually do something wrong, but it was like a very, very minor thing. But Iskal, when he saw this, well, let's just say he was quite surprised. And he went in, okay? He went in on my design. I'm going to get away from this skeleton because he's pretty hardcore. But Iskal went in on my design. He went... he started saying how terrible it was, how much of a noob I was at redstone, and all this sort of thing. And to a certain extent, it is justified. Obviously, the redstone contraption isn't working and is not in the best order. But still, okay? I thought Iskall was my friend. Clearly, he has blasted me pretty heavily here, and I feel like we need to get him back. So I need your help. I want to do a little bit of prank in action. I'm going to do my first prank on the Hermitcraft server, and I kind of want you guys to help me out on this one. Let me know your ideas. I've got a handful of them, so I might be working on that at some point in the next episode of Hermitcraft. Because come on, man, like this thing's also is such a smart redstone design. It's perfectly logically unflawed. There's no way that you can cheat this system. All right. There's just a few little things that are slightly wrong with it at this point in time. But I feel like we need to get Iskall back for his mean and hateful comments, okay? And we need to do some building in his base. So let me know down in the comment section what you think I should do. But for the time being, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.